everyone, my name is Shauna, in case you don't know, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you Male Loves Male book recommendations. The first book that I'll be recommending today is a book that the writing style feels very middle grade, but the content style is very young adult, so it's an interesting combination. This book is by J.K. Pendragon, and this book is called Junior Hero Blues. Junior Hero Blues is about people with superpowers, so the good guys are fighting the evil guys, and there is a good guy named Javier, and Javier has superpowers. And he's this boyfriend who keeps mysteriously disappearing whenever the villains attack. It is such a fantastic love story. I loved the romance in this story, and I found this story to be such a fun and cute superhero book that I highly recommend. My next recommendation is by one of my favorite LGBTQ+ authors of all time, and that is Ben Alderson. Ben Alderson wrote this series called the Jigori series, and it starts with Cloaked in Shadow. This is one of my absolute favorite series of all time. So in Cloaked in Shadow, the king pulls all the shapeshifters that he can into his army, but Zachariah, the main character, is pulled into the shapeshifter army, but he's not a shapeshifter. He has elemental powers. So this story has shapeshifting, elemental magic, with elves. It is such a fun story, and there's romance in here between Zachariah and the Prince Hadrian, and the romance in here is so beautiful. There's also other representation in here as well. There's asexual representation and lesbian representation. I highly recommend this one if you're looking for a gay fantasy story. My next recommendation is one of my favorite standalones of all time, and this is Human Enough by ESU. Human Enough is about a romance between a vampire hunter and a vampire. The vampire hunter is named Noah, and he has autism, and the guy that he falls in love with is Jordan. Jordan is an asexual vampire, and I love this story. There is some adult content in here, but it is really awesome, and I highly recommend this one to literally everyone unless you don't like explicit adult content. But this book is phenomenal. There is so many cute romantic scenes, and then there's also so many like really intense heart-pounding scenes. I flew through this one. I loved it so much. The person who wrote this book is ESU, and I really want to read more books by this author because Human Enough was incredible, and it is one of my all-time favorite books. And even though I read Human Enough a couple years ago, it's still fresh in my mind because I love it so much that I like think about it all the time. My next recommendation is May the Best Man Win by Z.R. Elor. In the spirit of keeping myself accountable, I do want to say that there is one problematic quote in here. I enjoyed the rest of the story, but that quote should be changed so that it's not problematic at all. But the rest of the story isn't problematic and is really enjoyable. So this story is about two guys who are competing for the title of Homecoming King. So there's Jeremy, and Jeremy just came out as trans, and Jeremy is part of the cheerleading squad, and Jeremy is competing to be Homecoming King. There's also Lucas, who is going through a lot of hard things in his life. This is a sort of like enemies to lovers story, and it is so cute, and I loved it so much. It is messy, but it is really enjoyable. My next recommendation is a graphic novel. This is probably one of the most popular Male Loves Male graphic novel series of all time, and that is Heartstopper. Heartstopper currently has 4 volumes out, and a 5th volume will be coming soon. And then there's all these mini comics to go along with this story. Heartstopper is by Alice Osman, and it follows Nick and Charlie, and it is Nick and Charlie's love story. They are both on the rugby team. It's a friends to lovers really cute graphic novel series I absolutely love. I still need to read volume 4, but I've read the first 3 volumes, and they're so good, and I always tear up at every single one because they're just so cute and so perfect. And my final recommendation is Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. Charm Offensive follows Dev and Charlie. Charlie is going on a dating show where he has to figure out which woman he wants to marry. And Dev works on the show, and a romance blooms between them, but it's a forbidden romance because Charlie has to choose one of these women to marry because he's on a dating show. He has to do that, you know. There is tons of smut in here, so just like keep that in mind, but the Charm Offensive is a really great story, and Charlie is also on the ace spectrum, so there is asexual representation in here, which I absolutely love. And yeah, those are all of my Male Loves Male book recommendations. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. Oh, one thing that I should mention really quickly is that the Heartstopper series is also available, I believe, on Webtoons, and that is completely free and completely legal. Basically, this series started on Webtoons, and it got really popular, so I was able to get physical copies of the story, but if you are okay reading ebooks, then you can read it on the Webtoon app or the Webtoon website. I upload videos twice a week, so my next video will be uploaded this Friday. I hope all of you stick around to watch that one, and until next time, goodbye!